Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator. I'm Martin Wenzel. We are in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, in the United States of America. This is my hometown. And we're at Lawrence J. Timmerman Airport. It's on the north side of Milwaukee. And let's pull up the nav graphs. Just get an idea where we are. Obviously, we're in America. And we're in Wisconsin. And we're in Milwaukee, so if you're not sure, there's Chicago, third biggest city in America. We're in Milwaukee, somewhere number 20 now, I think. And here's Mitchell International, so that's the main commercial airport for Milwaukee. And then we're gonna be up here at Timmerman right there. Can't zoom in any further, but that's where we are. Actually, there it is. So we're right there. And I'm going to fly around Milwaukee, and then we're going to head on up to basically following US 41, I-41. Take it up to Oshkosh. This is where the FAA, all those fly-ins are here at a Wittman Field, I believe. Wittman Field, right? And then we'll go up through Appleton and up to Green Bay, home of the Green Bay Packers of the NFL. And we're going to land at Austin Straubel. That's the plan. We'll get a little bit of eastern Wisconsin. Not a lot of farms. It's going to be a little bit kind of flat, but there is some hills, and we got the Kettle Moraine over here. Yeah, Kettle Moraine State Forest, lots of lakes. We'll do a flight out in western Wisconsin, which has a little bit more hills, driftless area. This time we're going to go just do a flight around Milwaukee and all that. So let's get inside the plane. Beechcraft Bonanza 3.6. Let's see, what do we got to do? Just simple startup. We got our parking brake set. All avionics are off. Fuel selector is the fullest tank. And battery alternator switches are on. Alright, start the engine. We're going to go. Yeah, we already have a flight plan in there just to have an idea where we're going. Most of it's going to be, we're just going to do it manually, of course. We want mixture rich. We want our RPM at max RPM and our throttle at full. Then we're going to do our fuel boost pump. I believe it's this one. Make sure. Yep. That's until the flow peaks and then off. I'm not exactly sure what that means because I'm not seeing anything move here. I guess we do that and then we go back to off. Throttle is now open to 1/2 inch. Right about there. And do our start switch. And we want our throttle at about 1200 RPM. And our oil pressure looks good right there. After starting the engine, turn on our avionics. Our lights as required. Do our pitot heat, our strobe light, beacon, nav. Panel, taxi, and landing. Since, well, we'll put that once we get to runway. Our flight path, we're going to kind of go south a little bit to start. And then we release our parking brakes. Let's get guys getting all up in our business. Okay, so he's already doing a pushback. Oh, okay, this is why I forgot to turn back on my sound settings because I turned it off because I was doing a VFR. It gets pretty annoying if you have all the stuff jumping over. And I guess my co-pilot is still active, asking for a pushback. Alright, so I guess we're getting a pushback. Release our parking brake.
ground Beechcraft November 871 Mike Whiskey, requesting the end of pushback.
Beechcraft November 871 Mike Whiskey, request to end pushback received.
Timmerman ground Beechcraft November 871 Mike Whiskey, with uniform request taxi for takeoff departure to the north.
Beechcraft November 871 Mike Whiskey, taxi to and hold short of runway 4 left using taxiway Charlie Alpha Charlie, cross runway tree right, Bravo, cross runway tree left, Bravo. Contact tower on 120.5 when ready.
Let's get our charts.
Taxiing hold short runway 4 left via taxiway Charlie Alpha Charlie, cross
We're going
runway
4
tree
left.
right, Bravo, cross runway tree
So
left,
Charlie
Bravo, Beechcraft
Alpha
1 Mike
Charlie.
Whiskey.
I'm not sure why Charlie Alpha Charlie. It's just Charlie. We'll just keep that up for now, so I have an idea where I'm going. And we're on to Charlie. Oh, actually, we need to turn right here. Gonna be Charlie over there. Doesn't this thing want to turn? Okay. This thing literally can't turn. This thing can turn. It has worse turning than the. I don't want to go in the grass, but I can't seem to turn here. And yeah. All right, there we go. I didn't realize that was Charlie. Kind of weird that, I guess it can't turn on a dime, right? Or cross runway 33 right. We actually have a couple turf runways, as you can see. We're crossing Bravo now. Or Alpha. That's kind of wrong. Could be Bravo right there. Much easier to see the signage in the small plane. Be the turf runway. Got a sign there, so maybe that's it. Yeah, that must be the turf. Fortunately, the houses over there are not loading in. Yeah, we're having a lot of trouble trying to get stuff loaded in.
Timmerman Tower Beechcraft November 871 Mike Whiskey, ready for departure to the north at runway 4 left.
Beechcraft November 871 Mike Whiskey, QNH 30.15 wind 064 and 12. North departure approved. Cleared for takeoff runway 4 left.
Cleared for takeoff runway 4 left Beechcraft 1 Mike Whiskey.
Three 310. 315. Hopefully the photogrammetry loads in. Should. I don't know why it has such a hard time loading in sometimes, because I do have good internet. Alright. We're clear for takeoff.
Beechcraft 1 Mike Whiskey, continue for north departure.
Timberman Tower Beechcraft November 871 Mike Whiskey, continue for north departure.
Alright, so we're kind of heading north, so I want to northeast, so I want to turn. We can head toward the downtown. You can actually see it off. Once we get turned here, you'll see the buildings trying to load themselves in. Photogrammetry, that's sort of the problem, is that it looks really great when you're close, but in distance, if you don't have the draw distance set up really high or something. We have north side of Milwaukee right here. Right below us, that's Silver Spring Drive we're crossing. Silver Spring and North 60th. Now we're traveling down Sherman Boulevard. Then it turns into Wisconsin 175. This is actually part of the incomplete freeway system. It's supposed to kind of come up here, attach, and then there's going to be a freeway running up there. It connects to where we're going to be going eventually. Over there's Froedert Hospital. That's where my dad works as a chaplain, and my college is right there where I went to college, Wisconsin Lutheran College. Here's the Miller Brewery plant in Milwaukee. And I ended up going there quite a bit when I was driving for Millis. See all the trailers. And then right here you have Miller Park, or it's now American Family Park. Home of the Milwaukee Brewers. And we have the... This is actually Wood, Wisconsin is this. So this is the veterans, the VA hospital. And this is actually a National Cemetery. My grandpa is buried right there. My grandpa and grandma. Now this used to all be industrial area. This is West Milwaukee, and now it's you got Target, Shermack, which is a good grocery store, Menards, and this is still Froedert. This is Froedert. It's a granary. This is where you got a lot of the they do the fermenting for Miller and all that. Down here, I believe, is Pabst, or it might have been Schlitz. Well, this is St. Luke's Hospital. Sorry. But over in this area was where Pabst or Schlitz used to be. And that might even actually right here. Kinnickinnick River. Pretty channeled. See Mitchell International Airport right there, and then we're getting close to this. Is going to be St. Francis. Going over Milwaukee and St. Francis again. We're probably getting some frame rate hit as it's loading in, kind of loading in the airport over and over. Struggling with that for some reason. Town of Lake Water Tower. Mitchell Interchange. This is 94 south, or 94 east, going down to Chicago, and then up 43, and that'll take us all the way to Green Bay. 43 goes out to Beloit and into Illinois over there. Then you have 894, which is the loop around Milwaukee. Right here you got Clement's Sausages in there, Clement Bratwurst, Clement's Meats. This is down here, Cudahy. You got Patrick Cudahy Bacon. We lived down there when we first moved back to the area. This is going to be the South Shore in Milwaukee. And we're on one of the Great Lakes, Lake Michigan. And here it's this road is Wisconsin 794, which extends from Interstate 794, which they, at least in this photo, they're still working on rebuilding the deck for the bridge. Right there's the Hone Bridge, golden arches. And this is Bradley. Largest four-faced clock in the world, right there. It's actually bigger than Big Ben. Big Ben is taller, but the actual clock itself is bigger.
You are leaving my airspace. Resume on navigation. Contact Milwaukee approach on 125.35.
So there's the Hone Bridge. Kind of the way it loads in doesn't load in that great. You need a custom for that. Or there's Summerfest, largest music festival in the world. Post office, main post office. And we're going to buzz over downtown. They don't have the 5-serve forum where the NBA Finals are occurring, actually. It'd be right here, I think. They got the old Bradley Center where the Bucks used to play. MSOE, School of Engineering. City Hall, Milwaukee City Hall, which used to be the tallest building in the world at one point. We got the U.S. Bank building. It's missing quite a few of the new nice glass-sided buildings they got over here downtown. Up there is going to be University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. I want to kind of loop back here. Up here you have the Marquette Interchange, and then it's called that because you have Marquette University right there. Oh, sorry. That's Marquette University. See the cathedral. This is Wisconsin Avenue West. So basically, this is the original kind of outline of Milwaukee, and then obviously more of the suburbs as you get out by Miller. Potawatomi Casino. This actually might be the lot where I'm going to be parking my truck in the future for my next job. Yeah, it's a paid parking lot. Let's do a little flyby of where I live in West Allis. See all the churches down there. we want to be on right around here. This is going to be Lincoln Avenue. This is probably Mitchell. And we want to get to Beecher. That's where I kind of live. It's going over West Milwaukee. This all used to be manufacturing factories. Definitely when I was growing up, and now it's much more kind of like a shopping strip. Another U.S. Postal Center right there. This area in West Allis used to be Allis Chalmers, the Allis Chalmers factories. They made the farming tractors, and then during World War II were making parts for planes and tanks. Well, all this used to be factories, but now it's farmers market and various shopping centers. Alright, let's see. Well, I actually live right... I'm going to zip over pretty quick. Right here, so this apartment building, and we live... I'll try to get past it again. They don't really render the water towers very well. And actually, for Mills Transfer, I would park out here. It's kind of a little bit closer. We're kind of skimming the trees right now. We'll follow Lincoln Avenue and kind of get a look at where I parked my truck for the last few years for Mills Transfer. They have a lot out here. That's it right there. You can see all the trailers. Mills Transfer trailers right there. Nathan Hale High School. That's one of West Allis's high schools. And then we cross into Waukesha County, and this is New Berlin. Gonna loop around. The Bulldogs are, so the Huskies are Nathan Hale, the Bulldogs are West Allis Central, which is going to be, well, this is West Allis Hospital. West Allis Central's right there. That's where my brother and sister went to high school. See if I can't get a decent shot here, or an idea where my house is. I think it's right there. That's going to be the apartment buildings, and we're like right. Yeah. So we are this house right there. That one right there. And it's gone. Over here we have the Milwaukee Mile racetrack and our state fairgrounds. Downtown West Allis. Notice my tracker isn't. It just doesn't recognize Timmerman. Or the progress bar on the top. Let's go. Oh, that would be right here. So that's Good Shepherds. That's our church. There we go. This is Highway 100, so we'll kind of loop over here now and start heading up Highway 100. You can still see there on this is kind of an outdated. All this construction work is done for this interchange. They moved the railroad track over a little bit because they had to build a new bridge. All this work is done. They're now doing more work further north to expand the freeway. US 41, Interstate 41 now. So there's my college, Wisconsin Lutheran College. And then you got the Wisconsin Medical School, Froedert Hospital. So that's my college, just a small campus. And then right over here is Wisconsin Lutheran High School. That's where my mom works and my parents went to school. And they even got the detail down. I actually lived in one of these apartments right there when I was going to college. Yeah, they even got, you can even see on the roads, you can see the crosswalks, the red brick crosswalks. This is Hart Park, and we're going over downtown Wauwatosa, right there on the Menomonee River. Let me just pause there. I think we need to do some VSync here and see if that helps. Might not, but really, I don't know. See if that hurts the frame rate. I don't know if that really helps. Yeah, a little bit. Now we just kind of got a little bit of a stutter instead. And so this is, they're kind of making the Menomonee River more wetland. It used to be channeled, so now they're trying to bring it more back to a natural state. Over here, this football field and these baseball fields, this is our athletic area for Wisconsin Lutheran College. And we'll continue up Interstate 41. Mayfair Mall, right there. And there's Timmerman Field again, where we started. Basically this whole area now on the freeway, they're doing road work, and so it's traffic jams each way. If you've seen one of my videos where I was going up to Richfield, which is going to be right up there, where Millis is, the Millis terminal. Definitely takes a while right now, depending on the day, because everything, you get the normal traffic jams, and then you have the construction on top of it. One thing I noticed though is the draw distance for the trees isn't that great. I just noticed that. So maybe I'll be able to turn that up. I don't want to turn that up right now. We're barely holding 30 frames. But hopefully once I get a new graphics card, we'll be able to pump up the quality and definitely get that draw distance looking better. Miller Park's just a blob. Downtown is, unfortunately, just a blob. We'll fly over Holy Hill. Holy Hill's a high point up here near Richfield, and you can actually see from there, you can clearly see downtown, which has got to be like about 40 miles away. Here you can see, I think this is Highway 175. And then here's Highway 145, which was supposed to be a spur in the interstate system. Milwaukee's interstate system just has one kind of loop, and it's incomplete. This is kind of where you have a little bit of freeway, and then it basically turns into a surface road because people were tired of tearing down everyone's houses. Now we are turning up here. Yeah, this is 124th Street, which is the Milwaukee County and Waukesha County border. It also ends up being the border between Ozaukee County and Washington County. Wittman's grocery store, an employee-owned grocery store. Over here, so now we're in Menomonee Falls, where my cousins went to school. Big landfill. And then right here is a county Q, highway county Q, or county highway Q. And that is, we're going to cross over that, will be in Washington County and Germantown up here. And my aunt and uncle, this used to all just be farms. My aunt and uncle's backyard used to just be all farms behind it. There's actually, I think there's still a barn over here, like right there, I think. That might be what you can see. My aunt and uncle's house is like right in there. Yeah, that barn's still there. So my aunt and uncle's house, I think, is right there. That grove of trees. And the quality has kind of dipped when we get out here, unfortunately. So maybe we'll climb a little bit, get some altitude. We've been cruising below 3,000 feet. Get a right up there is Holy Hill Road, and we'll kind of not climb too much yet. I do want to kind of try and find Holy Hill. I believe it's on Holy Hill Road, obviously, the name of it. Here you can see the split between US 45 and US 41. And US 41 is going to take us to Oshkosh. US 45 will too, but this is it's now Interstate 41. Got a quick trip right there, truck stop, gas station, and then right here is Mills Transfer Terminal. That's where I did my schooling. Not as much photogrammetry, that's just all, it looks like it's flat. And then Holy Hill is gonna be, I don't remember how far out it is actually. Hopefully I can recognize it. Could be it right there. No, it doesn't look like it's on a hill. That right there. Now we're headed west on Wisconsin 167. I feel like this is where it would be. don't see a church though, unless it's snugged in there. Can't really miss it. At least you shouldn't. I wouldn't be surprised if I did because I don't know exactly where it is. Yeah, it was behind us there. I kind of preserved just before the lake. Let's see if we can't find it. Got quite a few people in here right now. Good to see. Please, yeah, give it a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you haven't. We're going to be doing some more flights like this, in addition to my world tours in the airliner. And comment in the live stream, or comment in the live chat. And if you're watching this later, yeah, please hit that like button and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment below. Yeah, we were almost actually out to the town of Erin, where there's a really good golf course where I believe they've done some U.S. Opens or something, like PGA. Alright, so the preserve is Holy Hill Preserve. It's like right in here. So, I'm just not seeing a hill. So I'm a little bit confused. It's a church with some decent steeples on it. Huh. I guess I just don't know where it is exactly. I'll have to find it next time. Oh, it's much further. It actually, we didn't get out. It actually is further over there. That was kind of confusing because it said Holy Hill Preserve is here, and then. All right, well, we're gonna head up to Oshkosh. Over there we got West Bend. We'll gain a little altitude. I can't wait to show you the course of this flight on the tracking. Lots of loops and swerves. Oh, that was my mistake. That's my mistake. That's not that's gonna be over there. That's gonna be Jackson. Up there's West Bend. Right here is Slinger. There's a racetrack, famous racetrack, short track, where guys like Matt Kenseth and Alan Kwiatkowski got their starts. And then over there's Hartford, Wisconsin, where my grandma grew up before her family moved to Milwaukee. Really do wish the trees would. There's actually, I think I'm fixed for that, or again, that draw distance. But that's probably pretty hard on the graphics card at this point. I've got a lot of overhead now on my computer and the memory, but graphics card is obviously the thing holding us back. I guess we're not climbing anymore. I suppose the trees are more noticeable at this height. Usually we're flying at 35,000 plus feet, so we don't notice the trees because they don't really load in, and we just see the satellite imagery. This is going to be Cedar Lake. Big Cedar Lake. Hey Adrian. I'm flying through my home state in the United States. Back there is Milwaukee, where my hometown. So flying north to, gonna go fly over Oshkosh and Wittman Field, Wittman Regional Airport, where the FAA. Let me get what that actually is. Big air show and stuff, but I forget what it's exactly called. There's the FAA museum, I think, there, and I drive past it all the time. Or the EAA. The EAA Aviation Museum is there. And that's actually, the EAA Aviation Museum has its own airport right next to Wittman Regional, which is a Pioneer Airport. And Wittman has serviced aircraft as large as the Boeing 747, 767, the Airbus 380, Concorde, and the Boeing B-52 Stratofortress. So, for a regional airport, it's had some big planes land at it. And that's for the air shows. That's for, let's say, yeah, during EAA AirVenture Oshkosh, 2 additional temporary runways are in operation to accommodate the high volume of traffic, numerous aircraft sizes and types. It's an annual air show. This year it's actually beginning 9 days from now. July 26th through August 1st. During the gathering, the airport's control tower, frequency 118.5, is the busiest in the world. Yeah, in 2018, the EAA had an estimated attendance of over 600,000. That's the population of Milwaukee, the city of Milwaukee, gathering on those grounds there in Oshkosh at Wittman and Pioneer Fields, Pioneer Airport. They have air shows. Obviously, if you guys are in aviation at all, you guys know about it. Ooh, Philippine National Prankster. Philippine National Prankster Association. Okay. My top 5 aircraft in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. I'd have to say the one I fly the most is the A320 Neo, but the mod with the A32NX mod from Fly-by-Wire, which really makes that plane far more functional, closer to something study level. At least much more functional. It's not study level yet. Aerosoft's CRJs, their CRJ 550 and their 700. That's payware. Those are probably, at this point, your best bet for airliner, but they are CRJ regional jets, so they're small. Those are quality. Some of the other airliners that have come out recently have not been very good, not worth the money. Maybe worth the money, but it really depends on what you want out of a plane, and I think you want at least a certain quality. Top 5. For VFR, I like the Beechcraft Bonanza 36 that we're flying right here. I don't know why. It's the one I picked up and started flying first. I think as I got one of those airline manager programs, and it was the first plane I could afford to rent or something, and could carry a little bit of cargo with and make some money on the program. And I really only fly the airliners, so I'd have to say, after getting back into the 747, flying it a little bit, and using Salty's 747 mod, the Boeing 747, that is just, you gotta fly that plane. It's a huge plane. You're on the second floor, second deck when you're flying it. Just a massive thing. I like that one. With Salty's mod, really makes it a little bit more functional. And I want to say the 780, 710, but I've had some glitches with that. I do like that plane. I'd say let's throw another VFR one in there. I like to just jump in that Icon 5, which you can land on the water. It's just a very simple kind of sport plane. Very good window sightlines. Very kind of minimalist, simple plane. Those are my top 5. Okay, so we're still following US 41, Interstate 41 up to, we're getting towards Fond du Lac. I don't think I've tried I might have tried the TBM 930, but not enough to actually appreciate it or anything. And the citation longitude, with the working title avionics, I haven't done anything with the citation. Hey, Dennis the Player, thanks for stopping by. Yep, just a recap where we've been. We're doing a VFR flight in eastern Wisconsin. We're getting up to an altitude. We're getting a little bit of cloud. And we're flying from Milwaukee. I flew around Milwaukee, kind of did some sightseeing in my hometown where my house is, various stadiums, Mitchell International Airport, my church, the Milwaukee Mile, my truck company and everything where we park. And then we're headed up to Oshkosh. We're in, right now, Fond du Lac County, and we're going to be reaching Fond du Lac. Fond du Lac means the bottom of the lake. Literally bottom of the lake in French, I believe, is what it is. And it's at the bottom of Lake Winnebago, which is the largest lake in Wisconsin, within Wisconsin. Obviously, Wisconsin is bordered by Lake Superior and Lake Michigan, 2 of the Great Lakes. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you very much. Glad to hear that. Yeah, I know there's a number of you that are really appreciate this channel, and that's great to hear. And I'd encourage you to leave comments more often on the videos, because that just lets me know that you guys are there and watching and really like it. So thanks for that. Thanks for that, Dennis. Right there you can see the Fond du Lac, and that's at the bottom of Lake Winnebago. Largest lake in Wisconsin. And on Lake Winnebago, basically on the west side of it, we have Fond du Lac on the south, then Oshkosh, Neenah, and Menasha. Neenah and Menasha are very big paper-producing cities. And then Appleton at the top of the lake, and then coming out of the lake is the Fox River, which then goes up to Green Bay and empties out into Green Bay, into the actual bay that is called Green. And that goes up into Lake Michigan. We got another plane we can see off in the distance. Yes, I am planning, actually, I think I'm going to do that tomorrow. We're going to fly the 747-8. It's in the in Microsoft Flight Simulator is the 8i. That is the passenger variant. I believe the cargo variant is the 8F. And I do have a UPS livery, cargo livery, complete with no windows. It's some of those liveries for the cargo, whoever made the livery doesn't understand how to get the windows out of it. And a cargo livery with windows is kind of, misses the point, I think. So I do have a UPS cargo livery. I'm planning on doing a flight tomorrow. I'm going to start it in the morning here. Whenever I get it started, probably be 7, 8 in the morning. Hopefully we'll get started. Either taking off in Cologne, Germany, or in Hong Kong, but we're going to be doing UPS Flight 1, that's Hong Kong to Cologne, or UPS Flight 2, which is Cologne to Hong Kong. That's about a 10, 11 hour flight, so I was going to cover the whole day. I'll be jumping in and out. Obviously, I have things to do, but that's a good flight to have when you got things to do. Just put it on autopilot. Fly over China, Russia, Kazakhstan, and then into Europe. That's what I've been planning. That's the big one I looked at. I might find another one that I might want to do better. But that is, I've been looking at doing that. I just thought of doing that this week. I wanted to do a long one. Wanted to do a cargo flight. Wanted to get into the 747. And did a few tests, takeoffs and startups and all that. So we will be doing, barring any issues and something going wrong, I am planning to do a 747. Yep. So hopefully, come into the chat. I'll be in and out, and maybe I'll throw the camera on so you know that when I'm there. But I'll definitely be there to start up and take off once we get the autopilot set. Have church in the morning, so we'll go to church, and but we'll be around during the rest of the day. But I'll be free to get some other stuff done while we're doing a nice long cargo flight from Hong Kong to Cologne, or the other way around. So here we're in Fond du Lac. I believe this is going to be downtown. I don't think I've ever been in Fond du Lac proper. I'm always on the highway, passing by. Right there. And actually, I'm not sure where US 45 is, but US 45 then comes back in, gets back with US 41 here. Got Lake Winnebago. I did see a few, like a wind farm nearby before. Very easy to see the wind farms at night. There's a bunch of wind farms over here on this side of the lake. Debating if I want to go over there. Yeah, let's kind of weave over there, and we can come cross back over the lake and get over to Oshkosh. Alright, so we're over Lake Winnebago. It's a shallow freshwater lake in Wisconsin. It's 137,700 acres. And as I said, it's the largest lake entirely within the state of Wisconsin, covering an area about 30 by 10 miles, 88 miles of shoreline, and an average depth of 15.5 feet. And maximum depth is only 21 feet. I didn't realize it was that shallow, actually. So we're on the eastern shore. Now the eastern shore of Lake Winnebago is mostly just farms. And there are some... I'm trying to see if I can see some of the wind farms. If we were flying at night, you'd see the lights. I can see them right there. There's one. So we'll fly over there, look at some wind farms, then we'll cut back across the lake. Get over to Oshkosh. So the western side of the lake is heavily... got quite a few cities, Fond du Lac, Oshkosh, Menasha, Neenah, and Appleton. And Appleton's then on the Fox River as well, which leads up to Green Bay. Very big with the paper mills. Yeah, there's the wind farm up there. So Winnebago has two primary tributaries, the Wolf and Fox Rivers. I was thinking the Fox River came out more in Appleton, but it actually comes out. They meet. Oh, okay. That's okay. So the Wolf and Fox Rivers, they meet at Lake Butte des Morts, which we'll see once we go over to Oshkosh, and that's on the western side of the lake. Those two rivers flow in, and then the Fox River flows out on the northeast end of the river and goes up into the Green Bay. Now, it doesn't say anything about the Wolf. I think the Wolf just goes and just feeds into the lake. We can see the wind farm. I fly in real time. I've never done a increased rate for any of those flights. I did do an increased rate once when I was just trying to skip ahead on I wanted to just redo a flight or something that crashed like right at the last second. So I could get the miles on my flight tracking, but the time is all messed up then, obviously. Yeah, it can increase the electric bill, and I'm sure my parents aren't thrilled about that. But usually, I mean, it's not going to increase it much if I do it during the day tomorrow, because I'm usually flying all day, most days when I'm home right now on my vacation. Just happens to be that I'm flying, maybe 3 or 4 separate flights. I'm doing startup and landing, doing my world tour flights, which have been, in the last week, have been mostly averaging about an hour length flights, but I've done 3 or 4 of them in the day and other stuff in between. But if I do a long haul during the day, it's not going to change the electric consumption really that much. Now, if I did an overnight one, and I have done a few overnight ones where I'll set the plane up, get it going, and then wake up in the morning and land it in Japan, or take off in Britain and land in Japan or something. I don't do them a lot because I do. I'm a little conscious about that consumption and wanting to kind of see what's going on with the flight. Look at the scenery a little bit. Here we got a wind farm. You can actually see on the actual satellite imagery the flattened versions of them, because they are when you do take a picture and then just plastered flat on the ground, it's not going to be 3D. Yeah, I mean, I play I've been doing some flight simulating only for the last couple of years, and yeah, watching YouTube videos, doing it. I really want to become a pilot. I think it's a little late, and I'm a little 34 years old, going on 34 years old, and probably right at that point where, you know, if I don't get into it like right now, it's gonna be hard to get into like airliners and get pretty far in the career. And I'm not really in a position where I can afford flight school and, you know, kind of having low paying jobs and families starting up here. So I think the simulation is going to be as far as I get to go piloting, because I'd really love to. That'd be really cool to do it as a career, especially flying the big planes. I like to fly the airliners. Now, of course, it would be cool to get a private license too and just fly like this, but that's a pretty expensive hobby as well, and I have a hard time with justifying this this hobby. My wife's all right with it. My wife's fine with me, you know, pursuing my hobby. She does things. If I'm only doing this and I kind of, you know, neglect to take care of her or do stuff with her, I can get in a little bit of trouble. Like I said, after this flight, I'm only doing this short VFR flight today. It's ending up is going to probably end up being, well, we'll be done by 12, I think, about 20 minutes or so. I have a little bit more flexibility with this one. My world tour flight I'm doing next is going from Nairobi, Kenya to Bangui, Central African Republic, and that's about a 2.5-hour flight. I'm doing the A320 for that, and that would be about a 3-hour live stream, and I would have started at about 10:30, wouldn't have been done until 1:30. We want to go to a rummage sale here that we're having at church, go see that, and then after that go over to the farmer's market and meet up with a couple of her friends that she's made over there. And yeah, if I was to say nope, can't do that because I got to do some flight simming all day, that'd be a problem. I don't have any kids yet. We have a kid on the way, actually. We have a baby on the way, so. And I only get to this vacation time. Well, that's a very personal question. I don't think we have. No. Unless it was an overnight, one of those overnight long haul ones, but I don't know. All right, so here's Pittman Field. You can see Pioneer Airport and Pittman Field. Let's get a little lower. Oshkosh right there. I believe that river mouth that we're seeing, that is the Fox and Wolf River. They've combined into one river up at the Lake I always say it wrong. Lake Butte de Morts, which is the Lake of the Dead in French. It combines into one river and flows in. So that's the Fox River flowing in from Lake Butte de Mort into Lake Winnebago as one of its tributaries. And there's Lake Butte de Mort right over there. Here's Wittman Regional Airport. And that's where the EAA, what's the exact name of it? If I get it right. The EAA AirVenture Oshkosh, which is happening July 26th through August 1st, 2021. I believe last year it was canceled because of the pandemic, but it's back on now this year, and that'll be good for Oshkosh and Wisconsin. I feel like I'm leaving. I'm probably starting my new job that week, and I'm a truck driver, so I'll be out then, and I won't be able to go run up to the air show. I'll definitely have to look into it for next year. I didn't realize it was coming up right now. There's Wittman. That's where the EAA AirVenture Oshkosh happens. And of course you got the city of Oshkosh right there. Yeah, that was a little bit of a rude question there. Crude, I would say. Have you ever tried other sims like Prepared or P3D and X-Plane? Yeah, that's what I started. I started with X-Plane 11 back in 2009, end of 2019. No, end of 2018 when I was still over in China. Did X-Plane a lot. Started doing my world tour over there. Wasn't doing the video because internet wouldn't allow me to do live stream, and I, for some reason, wasn't able to record. My computer just couldn't handle it, and for some reason, I tried it again with Microsoft Flight Simulator. It actually worked pretty decently, even on before I upgraded my PC. It was really weird. But yeah, I started in 2018 on X-Plane, started a world tour, started in New Zealand, got all the way over to Egypt, but then restarted that world tour thing for Microsoft Flight Simulator and the videos. But I did a lot of flying using Zebo's 737-800 mod over there, and a lot of downloading the ortho photos, the satellite imagery. X-Plane obviously doesn't have the wonderful photogrammetry and the far better autogen that Microsoft Flight Simulator has. Microsoft Flight Simulator is definitely more of a eye candy, a lot more eye candy for free. You don't have to pay for all of this. Well, besides the price of the simulator. I paid $20, I think, for X-Plane. And I felt like I had to really justify that, getting a flight stick and everything. And then Microsoft Flight Simulator, I ended up spending whatever for the premium. But, never done Prepared 3D. And in X-Plane, I never bought any planes. So I didn't get to experience, like, PMDGs, any of their stuff. I am looking forward to possibly getting at least one PMDG plane for Microsoft Flight Simulator, because they are pretty good from what I've seen. Pretty decently expensive, but you're getting what you're paying for. You're not getting something slapdash together. Okay, we got a little. Ooh, frame rate. Yeah, what's going on here? I'm really hoping for the Sim Update 5 fixes this issue. I don't know what is that. What is going on? Like, what is causing that? Yeah, I've heard that from people that they, Prepared 3D is going to be still the preferred place for airliners. I'd say X-Plane. I don't know. Yeah, I've never done Prepared 3D, so I don't know how those two compare. Why is it running like this? Oh, that's terrible. Come on. Now we're getting like this weird stuttering. All right, let me check some setting here. Maybe we'll turn off the VSync again. That sometimes causes issues. I don't know what is going on. Turn off the ground aircraft. I don't know why that'd be an issue, because we're not really going into an airport right now. But it can. I feel like my computer is suddenly running really bad. Yeah, what is going on? That's really frustrating. Oops. I don't know if that's because it's trying to load in photogrammetry, and if that's the case, that's just really bad. Oh man, this is terrible. Oh yeah, you're from. I know you want me to do some more Zambia flights. I'm sure. Yeah, when I was maxing out on the. Yeah, that's really weird. I don't know what's going on. It's like not using my. What has been going on lately, so I upgraded to a Ryzen, or I used to have an i5 6600, so 6th generation i5 Intel, and 16 gigs of RAM. And I upgraded to 32 gigs, upgraded the motherboard, I had to do that, and switched to AMD, got the Ryzen 7 5800, which is a really good card. And suddenly my CPU usage, I was maxing it out. It was at 100% when I was doing the live streaming, other things, and Microsoft Live Streaming. It was maxing out. I'm now at 22%. My memory is usually between 60 and 75% because I got stuff going. I don't know why it's that high because in Flight Simulator is not even using. Usually, when I had only 16 gigs, it was using close to 16 gigs of memory. It's using only 7 right now. Same with the GPU. I've noticed that my graphics card, which is only a 1070, I'm still held back there, was maxing out. It's only running at 50%, so I don't know what happened with my system, if something, a power setting just changed, and why, because it's not making use of my resources right now. It's in my description below. It's a Thrustmaster. What is that? The 16. Let me get it. Thrustmaster T 16,000M. I got that, and then I got the flight rudder pedals that go with it, and the weapon control system throttle. It was a whole package from Thrustmaster. This is the first time I've ever had stutters like this. I've never had it like this. Except for landing, and the frame rate would get really bad. But I found that if I turn off like the ground traffic or the ground aircraft, it doesn't have to load that stuff in. Usually it's better. And obviously with the upgrade of the CPU. That's really annoying. I don't know why the screens always have to pop up over there. Now I've got the high performance on. Why do all the windows have to open up where I'm looking at one screen and they all pop up on the screen I'm recording? Yeah, so this is all, I believe now we're over Appleton, actually. Or no, we're just over Menasha and Neenah. Or Neenah and Menasha, now over Menasha. Unfortunately, not having a good time of it though. I believe that's going to be Appleton Airport over there to our left. Yeah, the frame rate is basically like my computer just decided to have itself. Well, I don't know if there's a. Oh man, everything I open. Well, I don't know why everything's opening on this screen. Usually I have it usually should open in the right place. Let me see. Is it throttling back for some reason? No. Temperatures are fine. Yeah, it's just not utilizing my processor. It's just suddenly decided it doesn't want to use my... I mean, the clock rate is still up. It's utilizing, it's bouncing around there. But yeah, you go to... This is the worst frame rate I've had since upgrading my computer. But I don't know what this area, if it's like this area just has a ton of, I don't know. I mean, it's like I flew Chicago. I flew over downtown Manhattan. Nothing like this. I did it in like the A32NX, which gets a little frame rate issues because there is so much going on. It's not perfectly optimized. Well, it's kind of frustrating. Now we're over Appleton, Wisconsin. This is usually where visiting NFL teams, they'll stay at the hotels here. Not sure exactly why they don't just stay in Green Bay, but no, he meant what flight controller, like what flight stick and stuff. Yeah, it's really frustrating. It's like that. I don't know what it is, if there's just a lot more information going on here that has to load in, or because like I said, I've flown in multiple places. America's a little bit harder on, you know, places with photogrammetry because it's pulling in that photogrammetry more than just autogen. It shouldn't be this bad. I mean, it's just Microsoft Live. I mean, if this is pulling in the photogrammetry, it's like my internet is really good. Yeah, it looks like it's going. People are coming in and out. Well, the stuttering is really. Oh, there we go. What was the issue? Okay. I'm gonna have to do another flight after this or later. I'm gonna have to do another flight and see if this area just has something wrong. It's like, I don't know. Yep, there we are. We're good again. Got the little bypass here for a little loop that gives Appleton. Because I believe 41 goes out there, and then this is 441 or something. But yeah, that's Appleton, Wisconsin. Up there you got Menasha, Neenah, and then Oshkosh. It's gonna be all the way down there. Oh, we actually used up some of that fuel. We're still good. We're nearly there to our final, which is 17 miles away in a straight line, of course, and we're kind of just following the river a little bit. See, a paper mill hasn't loaded in perfectly. Hey, it's Johnny John. Just flying a VFR flight in my home state of Wisconsin in the United States. Went from my hometown, Milwaukee. We're going up, went past Wittman Regional Airport, where the EAA AirVenture Oshkosh big air show, big air event happening next week. Actually, that's where that happens. And we're flying up. Now we're following along the Fox River up to Green Bay, the city of Green Bay, home of the Green Bay Packers, and literally the Green Bay, the actual bay up on the glove of Wisconsin, or the mitten, however you want to call it. Oh, where are we? Oh, yeah, we're up here. Yeah, we're just passing Kaukauna, and then we'll be in Green Bay, and then there's Green Bay, and there's Wisconsin where flying. Wisconsin kind of got like the little pinky finger. Then you have Michigan, which is more like a mitten, I think, and that's like a thumb. That's how we talk about it. You got the Great Lakes, Lake Michigan, Lake Superior, Lake Huron, Lake Erie, and Lake Ontario. And then obviously Canada above that. I started down here at Timmerman Field in Milwaukee, which is where most of our general aviation is done. The international airport with more airline flights is right here on the south side of Milwaukee, Mitchell. And kind of just did some loops around Milwaukee, looking at stuff, and we've basically flown up US 41, Interstate 41 here. And we're heading to Green Bay. We're going to be landing at Austin Straubel International Airport right there, which is Kilo Golf Romeo Bravo. Before we land, I want to fly around Green Bay, fly over Lambeau Field, which is the famous home of the Green Bay Packers. And then we'll come back at Austin Straubel and see what they give us for
Green Bay approach Beechcraft November
a landing.
871 Mike Whiskey, 3,900 feet. Beechcraft November 871 Mike Whiskey, Green Bay approach QNH 30.13 continuous ramp.
Yeah, talking about that performance issue, I'm now back to using about high 90s in the percentage for graphics. CPU has gone up to about 25%. Memory is still the same. I don't know why the memory is actually so low. Usually you would use as much memory as you could get. Okay, QNH is 1.3. There we go. Behind us we have Lake Winnebago, the largest lake in Wisconsin, and then in front of us we have the bottom of Green Bay and the city of Green Bay and it's the suburbs. Well, the first one we'll be hitting is De Pere, and then I think De Pere is on this side right here, and then Ashwaubenon is over here. Then Green Bay proper, that's Green Bay downtown there. And then Alloes, right there. Number of, I think Ashwaubenon sounds like Native American name, and then De Pere and Alloes are named after a couple French explorers, I'm assuming. Wonder if that's a ship or what that is flashing out there. I do have the world shipping mod in, so maybe we'll see some ships. Actually, I don't think so. I think the world shipping mod, he hasn't figured out how to be able to... The ships are there in the Great Lakes, but because the Great Lakes are at a higher elevation than sea level, they're higher than the oceans, the ships just go at sea level, and so they're actually under the water. He hasn't figured out a way to counteract that. This is Green Bay, Wisconsin. This is the third largest city in Wisconsin, about a population of around 100,000. It's the smallest city to host an NFL team, the Green Bay Packers, which was one of the first teams in the NFL. They were founded in 1919. I believe they joined the NFL in 1921, along with the Chicago Bears. And they're one of the most successful NFL teams. And depending on the metric, perhaps the most successful. I believe the Patriots at this point. Well, Patriots only have 6 Super Bowls, and that's all they have. The Packers have 4 Super Bowls, but then they have 9 NFL championships before the Super Bowl era. So I believe it's like the Packers, and then the New York Giants, and then the Chicago Bears, and the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Patriots are probably the 5 most successful NFL. And throw in the Dallas Cowboys in the Super Bowl era as well. 49ers. But yeah, Green Bay Packers, based out of Green Bay, Wisconsin, and for the last, I want to say 20 years now, been about 20 years, a little bit less than 20 years, I think about 20 years, they remodeled Lambeau Field. Lambeau Field looks amazing. Lambeau Field was built in the 50s. It opened in the 50s, 1957, and it's one of the gems of a stadium in the NFL. And they're based in a city of 100,000. It feels like a small town if you've been to any city of significant size. Milwaukee, the Milwaukee metro area is about 1 million people. Milwaukee itself, 600,000. And the second biggest is the capital of Wisconsin, which is Madison. We didn't go over there today, but we can do that next time. Maybe we'll fly down from Green Bay and we'll fly, kind of do a central Wisconsin flight. We'll cut over towards Wauwatosa and then go down along the Wisconsin River to Madison, maybe. That could be a good flight. Right there that's going to be a drawbridge actually for at the mouth of the Fox River. Interstate 43. Now, Interstate 43, remember I mentioned that coming from Milwaukee. Well, there it is, coming back from Milwaukee. That goes mostly along the Lake Michigan shoreline over there. And then Interstate 41 is coming in right here from Oshkosh and the Winnebago cities. Lambeau Field's going to be over here on the west side of the river. Usually when I've gone to Green Bay, I think I've gone to this paper mill a few times. And then there's another smaller place, I want to say, or over there. And actually, Lambeau is right there. There it is, Lambeau Field. We'll fly over there. Right, this road is Lombardi Avenue, which is named after the Super Bowl winning coach during the 60s. I believe he won 5 or 6 championships during the 60s, 1960s. Oh no, that might be Oneida, and then Lambeau goes this way, or Lombardi. I get them mixed up. Let me see on the map. Oh, I was right. Now Lombardi comes east-west, and then Oneida is north-south. Getting a little in the weeds for you guys who aren't from Wisconsin on that. But yeah, when I come into Green Bay, and usually I've come in actually from the north. And I used to live up here actually, up in Phillips, Wisconsin, which is going to be further north. And maybe we'll fly up there too. But I usually come in this way. For some reason I've been coming in, and then I actually go past Lambeau Field, get to the paper mill. You see Lombardi goes right to that paper mill. Now if I'm going, and usually when I go to this other place over here, I end up taking this highway. So there's one of the couple of practice fields for the Packers. Clark Hinkle Field. I think if we get close enough, we could probably actually see the logo and everything on there, just like we did with Nathan Hale and the Bulldogs and the Huskies for the West Allis high schools. Depends on when this picture was taken. But we can see the stadium has been upgraded. It's got the all the upgrades. Kind of make out the logo down there. We might actually be too high. We were much lower in West Allis, I think. We can do that. Let's get down. Let's get down and do some flybys here. You can see the iconic G. Yeah, that's the amazing thing. That's what it looks like. You know, that's the photogrammetry coming in full on. See more detail loading in as we get closer. And all the seats in the bowl there are aluminum, metal seats, benches, not individual seats like most NFL stadiums nowadays, or most stadiums anywhere where you got the individual seats. Yeah, it looks like they haven't painted, when this picture was taken, they hadn't painted the field. Right. Painted the logo and end zones. Also, Straubel's right there, so let's get clearance. That's where the Packers, whenever they come back from a road game, that's where they land and get back to Green Bay. Let's get an approach here for Austin Straubel.
Green Bay Tower, Beechcraft, November 871 Mike Whiskey is 3 miles east, 1,400 feet with Gulf to land. Beechcraft, November 871 Mike Whiskey, Green Bay Tower. QNH 30.17 wind 03, 414. Make left base, runway 24.
Runway 24.
Beechcraft 1 Mike Whiskey, wind 03, 414.
Get an idea where I am here for this airport. Runway 24.
Clear to land runway 24 Beechcraft, 1 Mike Whiskey.
Okay, so that's gonna be the angled one right there. Well, not the shorter one. I thought that was the runway. We're gonna need to come. We're gonna loop around and come this way because they want to enter pattern left. And that means you're gonna be taking a left turn. Actually, another plane there. That's must be live traffic because I'm not on VATSIM. Yeah, it's live traffic right there. If that's pretty cool. No. I want a smooth landing. Obviously, I want a smooth landing, trying to hit the center of the runway. I mean, that is the goal, the aim. Now, obviously, you don't want to float too far down the runway because depending on your plane, you can float, and depending on the runway length, it can float a little bit, but if you need to. But definitely, I've been trying to get on that center line. But yeah, trying to get that center line, that's been my goal. But obviously also want to have a smooth landing. I don't want to nosedive it and hit the runway hard just to make a certain zone. If I have to, I've gotten more comfortable going around now than I used to. Alright, so runway 24 is going to be about a 240 degrees, which is actually the direction we're going right now. So we're going to do a 180. So we want to be at a course. What's that going to be? That's going to be 80 degrees, yeah? No. It's a 180 from 240. It'd be 60 degrees, yeah? Yeah. So we want to go 60 degrees here. We're going to get on that, and then we're going to have our left turn. Because it enter pattern left, that means you're going to be taking a left turn for your base, and then taking another left turn for your approach. I believe this is called the Downwind. You can see we're actually in line almost with Oh, that's not the runway we want to go to see. That's the other direction runway. We want to get over here. We're actually a little bit far out, but we'll have a long base. Not a huge problem. And we can look on here and see if that looks right. You can see we're kind of parallel. We're going to do a turn in there. Yeah, I mean, there's a... I'm not exactly sure what a touchdown zone, like how much area is that touchdown zone, but there is a certain point where if you're too far down the runway, you're going to get on the runway, but you're not going to be able to get... You're probably not going to be able to get stopped in time without really having to slam the, reversers and burn those brakes. So, yeah, small aircraft, you have a lot more leeway. Depending on the length of the runway, but most runways are sufficient for, floating a little bit in a smaller aircraft. Okay. Okay, now we're starting to get the airport on the screen up there. A little low, so I can't see the airport very well anymore. I think I can clearly see runway, I think it's 35, but we're trying to get runway 24. Well, I guess that direction wouldn't be 35, that'd be... Oh yeah, I think it would be. I'm assuming if you land anywhere before that, as obviously within the runway, if you land before that, on that, but anything after that, they're probably going to want you, most airlines are going to want you to just execute a go around. Yeah, that sounds about right. Obviously you'll see airliners do it where they'll come in and they'll float, and they'll get it down, and then there's been a few videos where they're really using the whole runway to get stopped. And again, I think that definitely depends on the size of your aircraft, how much you can kind of go beyond that touchdown zone before you're going to really not be able to get stopped in time. All right, we're going to turn base. That's going to be about 330 degrees because we were at 60. Go right over the paper mill, and actually we're going to go right over Lambeau Field. So where we were actually was the approach, or I've just approached from there. Yeah, I dock like right there at this paper mill. I've seen some other trucks docked on that lower area. Go past Lambeau again. Try not to climb too much. We're gonna pull back on the throttle. Alright, yeah, I'll have to give it a try maybe next flight. Next time I do a VFR. These small planes, I always have a little trouble landing them right. I take off too much power and I kind of end up falling short sometimes. I got the landing gear down. Oh, like a decent landing. I can't see what my landing rate is yet.
Exit runway when able. Beechcraft 1 Mike Whiskey contact ground on 121.9er. 121.9er for Beechcraft 1 Mike Whiskey. Green Bay ground Beechcraft November 871 Mike Whiskey taxi to parking.
Beechcraft November 871 Mike Whiskey taxi to General Aviation parking via Taxiway Bravo.
Oh, where's
Taxi
General
to
Aviation?
General Aviation parking using Taxiway Bravo. Beechcraft 1 Mike Whiskey.
Right in there. Taxiway Bravo. Like right there. Oh. Well, here are the gates. That's not what we're gonna want to go over. Probably over there more. Yep, let's get this parked. And that will be it for the flight today. I'm enjoying doing these VFR flights. Had a lot of stuttering there over Neenah and Menasha for some reason, and Appleton, but ooh, a little bit too fast, I think. Try to avoid the bus. I'm thinking General Aviation is going to be over here somewhere. Problem is I have no aircraft drawn on the ground. It's kind of hard to tell where I should be parking. Thanks. Like I said, it felt good, and that was actually a pretty good approach. Right on line. I think I like that view where I was on the camera. I kind of get up on that dash a little bit more, so it's easier to see. It looks like here's where we're gonna land or park. I think it takes away from it a little bit, having the big arrows or whatever. I mean, it is helpful if you don't know where to go, and it's kind of confusing. Because the flight simulator ATC is not always accurate with its taxiways. Because the taxiways don't always match up. With what the real life ones are. It's harder to turn this thing than it is like the 747. Actually, I don't think that's how you turn off. I think you actually turn it off this way, right? Probably go the off switch. I'm not sure how you turn off the engine. But there we go. We got our parking brake set. Turn off our lights. Turn off the avionics. Yeah, an hour 30. I wasn't planning on this long of a flight. But it ended up being that. That's okay. Alright, well, we are in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Like a Philippine National Prankster Association, he suggested trying the TBM 930, so I might do that next time. Might fly out of Green Bay here, or maybe out of Milwaukee again and go over to Madison. But I kind of want to do some flights in the Wisconsin area first, show off my part of the world, since I've been flying a lot of Africa. So thanks for showing up, everyone. Thanks for the likes. If you're watching this and you haven't, hit that like button. Hit the subscribe and notification bell. Share the video and comment below. And until next time, keep the blue side up. Actually, let's not sign off yet. I want to show you the flight pattern. That's what I missed. Now look at that, just kind of looping all over the place. Took off from Mike Whiskey Charlie there. Kind of looping around. That's actually a pretty good pattern. Landing rate 142. That's weird. I had another one where I flew and I got like 11 or something when I landed one of these smaller planes. Oh well. Alright, anyway. Thanks for stopping by, and until next time, like I said, keep the blue side up and take care.